Get ready!
If there was ever an iconic fighter jet game, it'd have to be Afterburner. Live the fantasy of being a fighter pilot, akin to the classic film that popularised the concept and got us all excited to take to the skies. I'm talking about the one and only Hot Shots, starring Charlie Sheen, son of the legendary and famous pilot Mr. Sheen.
Okay, I'm taking the piss. Of course I mean Top Gun.
Top Gun did have its own licensed game, but it's not something that I care for. Taking a brief glance, it looks a bit shit. Afterburner though is the real deal. It's flashy, fast and utterly chaotic. This game graced the arcades in 1987 and became an icon in its own right. I had one go way back when in a gyroscope machine in the Super Bowl arcade, where I spun myself around and around until I was sick, which scared me off of it and any other form of thrill ride since. Home ports is where most of my time playing this and the sequel was spent. Those are what I want to revisit and talk about today.
Let's throttle up and get into it. This is Afterburner, Airborne Chaos.
Gonna start with the ZX Spectrum version from Activision, released in 1988. I don't remember actually getting to play this as a kid. I knew it existed and the Hit Squad cover looks familiar, but that's about as far as my foggy memory surrounding it goes. Got my hands on the big box release these days though, which is nice. Was planning to have a crack on my Plus 2A, but it appears that the game doesn't seem to want to play ball with it. Must be the notorious incompatibility caused by Amstrad meddling with things, because even the TZX crashes when emulating that model. Pretty much a blessing in disguise though, having to do this via emulator, because Jesus Christ, this is hard as shit. Could only get through it by using RZX rollback to cheat. That's not to say the port is bad though, far from it. This is actually fucking awesome. It runs fast and is very responsive. It also contains these canyon stages, which I'm pretty sure I've never gotten to before on any version. The graphics are great. The fact that they're monochrome takes nothing away. They're big, detailed and more than fit for purpose. The loading between stages isn't too obnoxious or anything either. With the speed lock loading scheme, you're looking at about 30 seconds max, and a lot of the time it loads a few stages in one go. You can choose between playing with sound effects or music. I went for the music because ain't that one of the big draws of a 128K game? It's for me anyway. The plane automatically and constantly fires the standard shot, which is an interesting choice, probably because it frees up the fire button on a joystick for missiles. This speed toggle feature is something I neglected for the most part, just kinda forgot it was there, but the second canyon stage was impossible to get through without it to slow the plane down. The bloody missiles that lock onto you are a bit of a bastard. Often I wouldn't even notice them and then panic like fuck to shake them off. On the subject of panicking, there were a good few times there was so much shit happening on screen that it got overwhelming, especially in the later stages. Found myself just firing off missiles blindly. Oh god, I have no idea what the hell is going on. To be fair, even in those moments, the game barely slowed down at all. You can tell that it does ever so slightly because the music slows a tiny bit for the briefest of moments. Just looking at it with the naked eye though, you can't really tell. It's a testament to Keith Burkhill's programming skill. Given the hardware, this is very impressive stuff. He also did the specky port of Space Harrier, which too runs incredibly well. Maybe I'll give that one a proper go someday. 22 stages have been crammed into this, along with some nice images for the ending sequence, somewhat similar to the ending of Chase HQ on the Spectrum. It's even got the big plane that appears and automatically restocks your missiles, plus the section where you land the plane on a fucking road of all places to get a restock from a bunch of army dudes just hanging around down there for god knows what reason. Maybe they're having a picnic, perhaps it's a dogging site or something. Anyway, this port is a definite recommend from me. I had a great time with it and I'm pretty sure many others have and will too.
Next we have the Master System port, released in 1987 on a whopping 4 mega cartridge. Not gonna lie, had no idea what the hell that meant back then or what the relevance was, but it sounded cool. I really wanted a copy of this as a kid, but never got one sadly. However, I did manage to play it a lot by borrowing it off a mate, and I think we rented it from Blockbuster at some point. Got my own copy now though, happy days.
Can say that this one is also a solid version. Only 18 stages here and no canyon levels, least not that I've seen, but I can only make it to stage 12 as it stands. Reason being that this little trick of staying at the bottom left or bottom right of the screen to avoid every missile only works for the first 11 stages. No idea why, but once I'm at stage 12 they're knocking me out of the sky with ease. Need to up my game and stop being shit if I ever want to beat this one. There is a cheat for when you run out of lives that you can use twice per playthrough to continue. On the game over screen, press up on the D-pad plus buttons 1 and 2 together. This also ceases to work at stage 12, possibly sooner than that, but I found that after having a fair few attempts at playing, I wasn't really using it anymore. Only time I ever really did during later attempts was at this boss plane in stage 6. He wasn't in the Specky version, but here he exists and seems to be able to kill me whenever he feels like it. Not sure what it even is that hits me, but oh well, I just fling the plane all over the place, firing missiles and hope for the best. Can't even tell what it's actually supposed to be. Kinda looks like a Black Star Destroyer or something. These suicidal little pricks were the other main threat throughout my playtime. They come hurtling at you and sometimes, what with the way the Master System is displaying the pseudo scaling, it's hard to tell how close they are. Don't know what it is about Master System games especially, but whenever I get to a new area where the music changes and something as simple as the background being a different colour happens, I get all excited and feel like shit is getting real. It's a buzz that I still feel to this day, and when I got to stage 7 for the first time on this, that feeling coursed through me once again and a big grin appeared across my face. As the Master System controller has 2 buttons, you have to manually fire the standard guns this time around while the other button handles missiles. The guns shoot in bursts, so picking the right moment to unload and hold the button has a bit of a knack to it. Once you get the feel for it though, it's satisfying to ace these bastards flitting about the place, not that there are many examples of me doing so in this footage. The big plane with the missile restock isn't automatic here, you gotta lock on and press the missile button to latch onto it or else you'll miss out, which can be a bit bollocks. I mean, it's not like it's difficult to do, but you know. The landing on the road sequence is still automatic at least, if not potentially incredibly illegal. All things said, this port is a banger and another recommend from me. Had an absolute blast when playing both past and present, just gotta find the skill to actually complete it someday.
The last one I want to cover is Afterburner 2 on a PC Engine, released in 1990. I know, it's not technically the same game, it's the sequel, but it is the other one I owned and played as a kid. To me it goes hand in hand with the Master System version on a nostalgia front.
And of course, it is fucking fantastic. The PC Engine was quite the little powerhouse for arcade ports of the time, and in my opinion, this one is no exception. Something I remember thinking back then, and that I still think, is that even though this is number 2, it basically feels like the exact same game. That's not a bad thing though, as it is the only Afterburner game on the PC Engine that I know of. It is without a doubt the fastest of all the versions we've looked at. In fact, the stages themselves seem a lot shorter due to this too, of which there are 22. Wasn't long before I ended up at a canyon stage, which now for some reason I actually remember existing. Huh. Must be getting too old, can't even trust my own memories anymore. Could have sworn I'd never seen these stages before playing a Specky version earlier, but this has suddenly dragged something out from the depths of my brain. One thing I certainly do remember though is the voice repeatedly saying fire when you get a lock on an enemy. That really should be annoying, but because this is bringing so much back to me from childhood, it's actually making me very happy. I've only managed to get as far as stage 14 on this one, which I think is about where I'd get to as a kid. Given how my memory has been going while playing these ports though, I'm not going to say I'm certain about that. Doesn't matter too much anyway, because each attempt I've had at it, I've thoroughly enjoyed. The fast-paced maniacal chaos is on full display in this version, and it is glorious. This gets the adrenaline pumping like fuck and it really sucks me in. Oh yes, this is what it's all about. I've had goes on easy and normal difficulty, but honestly, I've not been able to notice any difference between them. I do like how this version provides an option to invert the vertical control. I've gotten so used to holding down to ascend. I was a lot more mindful of the speed toggle function this time around, but it is slightly annoying that it's controlled by one button. In the heat of the moment, I can't remember if I need to tap it then hold it, or just hold it straight away to make it go the way I want. Like on the Specky, there was no way in hell to survive the canyons without it. I ain't got that kind of reaction speed in me. It was strangely absent in the Master System version, or if it is there, I didn't find it. Probably goes without saying, but this sure as shit is a recommendation from me. If this is the sort of speedy lunacy you like from games of this era, this is immensely enjoyable. Crazy to think that all this madness can come pouring out of such a little console, but it sure as hell does.
Just like with R-Type previously, not a single port that I've played here has been crap at all. They've all been a total joy to play and showcase what each platform is capable of if the right developers are at the helm. Guess that's about it for today then. Have a good one you lot, and I'll see you later.